So before I forget, I want to talk about the nodes changing signs. So the North Node has just gone into Pisces and the South Node is now in Virgo. So for the next 18 months or so, we will have the themes of North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo kind of working their their magic in the background or in the foreground. Because there's a lot of things happening. It's all an intricate pattern. So, but I wanted to kind of give a few of my thoughts about what we can maybe focus on during this period. So, Pisces is about compassion, faith, themes to do with having more compassion, having more faith, showing compassion, empathy, the collective unconscious. It can also have to do with illusion, deception, alcohol, drugs. It can also have to do with being theatrical in a certain way, like theater is ruled by Neptune, I believe. So I think with North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo, what we're really kind of called to work on as a huge human collective on the planet is that we have to, on one level, we have to kind of have more faith in what is actually happening collectively. And there's so many things going wrong all the time, and like there's so many things that we feel are going wrong and that there's so many things happening all the time. But I think to kind of take that time to sit with yourself, sit with the people that you care about, and maybe meditate, have more faith in the unseen. Pisces can have a lot to do with the unseen. To kind of have more faith in the fact that, it's kind of unfolding a certain way for us. And there are certain things that are very tough for us, just put it lightly. But, there's always those moments that we can kind of give ourselves. And maybe during this 18-month period, we can give ourselves more of these times when we're just kind of retreating maybe a little bit and taking time out to, maybe do a tarot reading for ourselves, or to get kind of some kind of counseling or guidance from people, or to give that to others. So Pisces can have a lot to do with any kind of sort of counseling or guiding others or being guided by others, and having compassion and showing compassion and empathy and being having the faith that things will work out. And sometimes I think for that to kind of become a thing for you, in the sense that it actually becomes plausible, then you have to take time out and really reflect, to kind of retreat and have the faith that things maybe will work out for you in some way, and the collective in some way as well, even when things are very hard and we're going through such difficult times. And, the South Node in Virgo means that we're kind of letting go of, or we're being called to let go of, any kind of sort of nitpicking and criticism about what is going on. So maybe it is about taking on more of that Piscean tone of having compassion and having faith that things will work out, rather than just kind of focusing on like what is wrong and what is to be fixed practically. I think it's a very intuitive time now with the North Node in Pisces. Right now it's also conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune, so it's a very Piscean theme going on. So I think we're called to kind of take on, if we want to kind of raise, human, consciousness, or we want to improve things, we have to take on some of the Piscean qualities that are more positive. So compassion and empathy and faith in things working out, and showing that to people and embodying that, that maybe things will work out for you, and tell that to someone kind of when they're struggling with something. And so we're also letting go of the negative, or the kind of the the parts of Virgo that are not working for us anymore for this period. So we're letting go of some of the criticism, the nitpicking. We're letting go of just focusing on the physical, focusing on maybe our physical health in a way. Because I think, I was also going to say that, obviously a few years ago, we went through a major crisis on the planet, which still feels like we're still kind of coming out of in a way. Like there's still certain tones of COVID still out there. It's not like it's just completely vanished, but we are kind of out of I think kind of the main woods of COVID. It was such a shocker for us, but I think we're kind of out of the main woods of it. So I think maybe I was thinking about this as well, is that I think the North Node in Pisces is kind of, and the South Node in Virgo is kind of showing us that maybe it's time now that it's been a few years to kind of let go of any worries about the physical health, maybe to do with COVID, maybe to do with that whole period and everything that we're kind of carrying in our bodies from that period. Virgo is very physical and can have to do with physical health, and Pisces can have to do with like mental health and emotional health and psychological health. So I think maybe I would say it's time to sort of let go of the worries. Virgo can be about sort of worries. So let go of the worries of some of the things that we're carrying in our kind of collective consciousness when it comes to physical health, and so many people were sick and things like that. So maybe now it's time for us to, on some level, kind of move on in a way that we actually have faith that we're actually moving towards a place where things are better and things are, there's an element of maybe fantasy, there's an element of beauty, and there's an element of emotional evolution and emotional health. Rather than falling into the trap of the Piscean, illusions and deceptions, I think we really need to go towards the strong, positive sides of Pisces and have the faith and have the compassion that, maybe there is something spiritually that's kind of moving us along now that we can kind of let go of some of that Virgo energy that's more on the negative side of Virgo. So like worrying about health and worrying about the physical health and what we're doing physically. So we need to kind of move on a little bit on some level to the more spiritual side of things. I could probably word that better, but I think it's kind of my main point with this really is kind of the South Node in Virgo. For me, one of the things that would represent is kind of moving on from COVID and moving on from worrying about some of these physical manifestations of just things happening in the collective or things happening in our own bodies and kind of the physical manifestations of everything like that, and move on to the spiritual hope and faith and just kind of compassion and things like that. So I hope that you got something out of this. Maybe it's just a few things to kind of reflect on. I could talk more about this, and I was actually going to also I might do this in a separate video, take a couple of tarot cards for this period. I might do that in a separate video, just to kind of draw some tarot cards about, what we might let go of more and what we might strive towards when it comes to the nodes changing signs. But yeah, I hope this was interesting and helpful in some way. If you want more from me, do subscribe. And if you enjoyed this, if you appreciated this, do leave a like, and thank you for listening.